Hello and welcome to Burning Questions, a special edition of Burning Questions. Tim O'Connor retains his seat. That's my name. Jason Bonington and Nikita Ross are both, well, they're on holidays and they're one's based in Melbourne. I think you know who that is. He doesn't leave far from home, Jason Bonington. But Nikita Ross is in transit on the way to Queensland, where one of our guests already is. He's been very generous with his time. Really appreciate you jumping in. Greg Sugars, driving winners at Ararat one day, listening to Bailey McDonough talk rubbish one day, and then you're up in the Group 1 company of a big race meeting. Must be great to be up north. And how's the temperature?
Temperature's pretty ordinary at the moment, so yeah, it's not a hell of a lot different to what we've copped back at home in recent days. So unfortunately, yeah, I'm probably seeing Queensland at its worst. It's rained pretty much all day. I've only just arrived about an hour ago. The plane landed here to a very wet welcome. So hopefully that passes today and it all finds up by the time we're at the racetrack on Saturday.
We are all around the state. We've got Andy Gath. You did the show last week, Andy, from Long Forest, and the reception held up, but you told me you're that busy, you're going to have to pull over on the side of the road somewhere. Where do we find you today, mate?
Yeah, no, I'm at High Point Western Maribyrnong, so hopefully safe here in the car park and we can get through it without too many issues. That's
right, good stuff. And Nathan Jack is our other special guest. Really appreciate you jumping on, Nathan. Where do we find you today? You're at home by the look of it.
Yeah, mate, I'm at home. Yeah.
Away and ready for a big night of racing. Of course, Kilmore is where the Metropolitan Racing is on Saturday night. What is it, week 4 of the Metro Roadshow? We've had Cranbourne, Shepherd and Ballarat off to Kilmore on Saturday night. And that's where we might start with our very first question. Of course, the whole show is brought to us by Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. J-Bon, as he does, he never sends me any notes. So I haven't got the full read, but they're a bloody good mob there at Hip Pocket Workwear. So get in there and get all your work needs. The first question, we might start with you, Andy, just to kick this one off. Are the heat winners interest-free and Knights Templar the ones to beat in the Winter Championship final, or is there a diamond in the rough?
Well, no, definitely the most impressive heat winners, interest-free, had to send the death and do it tough and with a fair bit of authority. And Knights Templar come from a position where a lot of horses can't come from at Ballarat and sort of pay to them pretty quick. So, yeah, definitely the two to beat. But with any heats and finals, the horses that qualify generally in pretty good form. Blitzer's still a nice horse, and so Serge Blanco. So, yeah, it's not just a 2-horse race, but definitely they're the two to beat. But I wouldn't be surprised if something else sort of got the job done as well if they had a nice soft run.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the features on the Carter Group 3 event, $30,000. Nathan, you've got to drive in the race. Rodney Lakey trained Pat Speechstorm. I don't think Rod's been able to give me much of an idea of what is exactly wrong with this horse. It's been a funny one since his Group 1 winning days. How do you see the Winter Championship final panning out? Do you think you've got a realistic hope, or is it going to go to one of the horses that won the heats last week? As we let him back in, that might be an issue. We're lucky I'm pretty good on Premiere Pro because I can edit that. But Nathan is back.
Ask him an easier question.
Yeah, that was a bit curly, Nathan. Apologies for that. Or cut the crap. Can you win on Pat Speechstorm or not? And who do you think will if you don't?
I think he'll have to improve a lot from last week. It's been quite disappointing at the races. His trials were good leading up to it, but he's let us down at the races. I thought interest-free will be the hardest to beat. I thought his run was great at Ballarat. Sort of Knights Templar's probably going to get a long way back and probably going to be nearly impossible for it. Yeah, if I had to pick one, I think interest-free is the one to beat.
Interest-free for Nate. What about you, Greg? Obviously not involved in the race, but it's a really good little race and there's plenty of horses there that you know a lot about. Which way are you leaning for the Group 3 on Saturday night at Kilmore?
Yeah, look, I pretty much got to echo the thoughts of what Nathan just said then. I think interest-free was very impressive. We've seen him race very well, sort of sit sprint style in the past and then sit parked in a relatively even run race and then run home in a good quarter was certainly very impressive for my eyes. And yeah, Knights Templar is probably going to have a fair bit of traffic issues, but if the race gets run to suit him, it's obviously going to be very dangerous. But I thought Nathan's right. Pat Speechstorm hit the line really, really well. I reckon his last 100 metres was better than anything in the race. So I can see him getting a really soft trip and Nathan can blow the whistle at the right time and weave his magic late. I wouldn't be surprised to see it hitting the line very sharp from a soft draw tonight.
Yeah, interesting. It's good. It'd be great to see him just run one well because He's just been a touch below his best, I reckon, but it'd be great to see him bounce back. So a couple in the corner there of interest free. Move on to the second question. Might start with you here, Nathan. Honolulu Bay is the topic. Will Honolulu Bay add to his unbeaten run for Emma Stewart, or is he up against it in the popular arm? Of course, it's a free-for-all feature on Saturday night. What do you reckon?
And his trial's been good. He's in the right camp. Obviously, be forward enough, even though he's only had the one trial. But we all know that their horses go to the races ready to go. It's going to be a tricky race, just the same, only over the short distance. And if something like Max Delight can find the front without doing too much work, he's going to be hard to beat. But I think Honolulu Bay's definitely got the X factor, that's for sure.
Yeah, nice drive for you. Andy, you've got Tango Tara, your old mate, drawn barrier 6. Kate takes the drive. Well, I guess firstly, what do you think of Honolulu Bay's chances? And then maybe a quick word on how you think the race might pan out for Tango Tara.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the one to beat, Honolulu Bay. His main danger is Max the Light has drawn out wide, but he still might find the top. And Supreme Dominator inside the back row is going to be a little bit tricky for it. He's a quality horse. He excels over the short course and he has trialled really well leading into this race. So he's the one to beat. Tango, he missed last week, had a bit of a high temperature, so sort of missed that run, and sort of wide draw is probably up against him over the short, but he's probably a place chance only, I'd say.
Greg, as again, you're not involved. You're up in Queensland driving at Albion Park, and your horses are up there. But you'd know plenty about all these, including Bonsall Benjamin also go around. So I thought was quite impressive. A pretty good performance first up from the Stephen Duffy trained horse. Honolulu Bay, is he? I mean, he's a reigning 4-year-old entire and gelding of the year. Is he going to be too classy, or is there some horses up and going that you reckon can knock him off?
Oh, there's some handy horses in this race, but I don't think any of these are sort of in the same league as Honolulu Bay. And although he is first up, I suppose there's going to be some question mark. But as Nathan said, the camp will have him ready to go. And I think even if he's only 90% right, I think he should still be too classy for this lot. Obviously chased him home in the size finals late last year, and I was driving JOK, which I think is a very, very talented horse himself. But weren't able to turn the tables on Honolulu Bay on any occasion. So rate him extremely highly. I know the camp do as well. So for mine, he'll be good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about JOK because you gave that also a really good push there. I reckon, was it in the heat or the semi? You thought you might have had a Group 1 win on your hands.
Yeah, he was very impressive. I think it was in the heat at Ballarat. Really smashed the clock from out wide, and is probably as quick over 300 or 400 metres as any horse I've ever sat behind. But it's had to drive him like a stayer in the final, and he just wasn't able to get the job done, but still went very, very well himself. So he's a real high class horse, and it wouldn't surprise me to see. I think the camp are planning on bringing him down for the Inter-Dominion later on in the year, and he'll contest a lot of the main feature races coming up, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him bob up and win a good race at some stage. He's a very classy horse himself, so just another reason why I respect Honolulu Bay just as much.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you there. Question 3, the burning questions, of course, brought to us by Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. We're going to stick with you here, Nathan. And when I asked you to jump on today, it was partly on the back of just a comment you made privately, and I'm sure you'll back it up here publicly. But you were quite looking forward to heading to Kilmore on Saturday night to drive Cravash Door. I don't know if you're keen on hanging around till 10 o'clock, but that's the way the cards fall. This horse, it looks like a lot of talent. So my question to you, how good is Anton's youngster? And I've said she here, but it's not. Will he make it 3 on the trot on Saturday night?
He's really good. I think he's got the potential to go a long way. Sort of every time I've driven him, he's impressed me more and more each time. And his last win was full of merit. He sort of got home in high 27s or low 28s. And the way he done it, he just done it so easy. So I can't see any of these ones beating him in this race, that's for sure.
And have you driven him both starts, Nate, this prep? Yeah. And his gait's been a touch of an issue early days. Are you confident, touch wood, that he's trotting pretty well and he'll do it all right?
Yeah, I've 4 times now, a couple of times at the trials and a couple of times at the races, and he hasn't shown any sort of signs of breaking and that. I think that's in the past. Well, I'm hoping it's in the past, but I sort of think this horse is one that'll go a fair way and be going around in a lot of Group 1 races throughout his career.
Yeah, it's a great drive. Greg, might go to you now. He gave me the impression, I can't remember where I said it, but Plymouth Chubb was rattling off all these 2-year-old wins, but I always felt personally that Cravache Dior might have been a better horse going forward long term. Of course, Plymouth Chubb's out injured, so it's a bit unfair on him, but does he strike you as a horse that can go on and be pretty handy going forward?
Certainly seems to have the scope to be a very nice horse, and interesting, like hearing Nathan obviously talk so bullish about him. He would have a better, obviously, understanding of the horse than what I would. So that's you've got to take that, a lot of respect in what Nathan says with his experience behind the horse. But he obviously seems to have a good turn of foot, which he showed. His most recent win, I don't think any of the horses in this field, while they're quite an even lot, probably behind this one. I don't think any of them have sort of got the high speed what this one has shown at its most recent start. And you'd think, barring bad luck or too many traffic problems or anything like that, anything going wrong, that he's obviously going to be clearly the one to beat. So he showed that last year, as you say, chasing home Plymouth Chubb a few times, that was a horse that was probably a little bit green and wasn't as forward as what Plymouth Chubb was at that point in time, but certainly did show signs of good ability. And as he's maturing, he's obviously only going to get better.
Yeah, I said, I sent the questions out, I said she, and you were quick to correct me to tell me that you knew it was a boy, and I reckon you probably know the length of this horse's stride. That's how learned you are on the trotter. Give us your summation of Cravache Dior. No doubt you'd love to have him in your stable.
No, definitely. I agree with, Nathan and Greg. He's a quality horse. He's a good horses too. I'll just do a few things wrong, but it looks like he's come back more solid now. And Yabby Dam got a great batch of 3-year-olds this season, of both sexes. And, when all the Group 1 races come around, they're going to be sort of going to have a lot of horses in those races. He's another horse that they got that's very progressive. And you think if he does everything right, he'd be too good for this lot.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat there. Cravache Dior to wind the card up at Kilmore. Let's go fourth and final question. We'll go to Queensland. So obviously we're going to start with you, Greg, here, and that's why we wanted you on to talk about this this big race, the Blacks Are Fake, $355,000, a Group 1, a Grand Circuit event. You've got 2 horses, 888 drawn 1, Better Eclipse drawn 8. A bit of news coming through yesterday that you're going to drive 888, and the puppet Chris Alford's going to go off the back row and drive Better Eclipse. I guess before I ask the question, could you just sort of give us the breaking news about how you think this race is going to pan out and the decision to drive 888 and put puppet on the other one?
Not an easy decision. I think both horses are really at the top of their game at the moment. Obviously, 888's been racing at this level for a couple of seasons now, or a few seasons really, and Better Eclipse is a new kid on the block and sort of on the way up. The draw is probably not great for Better Eclipse. I think I can see 888 will get across at the start, and maybe even by 2 or 3 horses. So we're going to get shuffled back. So, that's why I've gone for the master, Chris Alford. He's going to have to make the right decision, whether he gets off the fence early or waits for luck late. But, he's probably got more decisions to make on that one than what I will with 888. I think his run last week was very, very good, even though it may have sort of gone unnoticed. He ran the fastest last quarter of anything in the race, and the Sunshine Sprint was wrestling with another runner to his inside for the majority of that quarter. So he's in very, very good order, and I think he's drawn perfectly for him to say it's going to get the perfect run for him to say he can win a race like this. He's going to rely on luck, of course, but if he gets it, I think he's going to be very dangerous.
Who's your best chance, Greg? You're driving 888. Is that the push from you that you think he's the best chance?
Not necessarily. I think both probably have got as good a chance as each other, but they're going to rely on luck from where they're probably going to settle in the race. But extremely happy with how both horses have performed up here so far, and they've come through the runs in terrific order, and they'll go every bit as good this week as what they have the previous 2, maybe even a touch better. They're sort of really in the zone at the moment, but like I say, from the draw, we're going to need a bit of good fortune to go our way. But both horses are good winning chances, providing things work out.
One more from you, Greg. If you could pick the barrier draws, what could you give us a rough idea how you prefer them to be? Not 1 and 8.
Well, I probably would have preferred them the other way around, to be completely honest. But happy with 888. drawing one. Probably would have preferred to see the other fella maybe have drawn maybe 2 or 3 on the second row or 2 or 3 on the front row, really, just to give himself a few more options as to what we could do tactically with him.
Yeah, appreciate that. Nath, might go to you. Well, the question I had written down, will the Vic strike in Queensland's big Grand Circuit race? And if so, who will it be? Of course, Like a Wildfire is there as well, drawn off the front row in barrier 7. Mark Pitt will take the drive. So we've got three chances. Do you think we'll take the big feature on Saturday night?
I think we will. I just don't know which one. I think tactics are going to be pretty important. If Like a Wildfire happened to find the front, I don't think they would beat him. But Greg's horses are in great form and they've done a great job with them, and they're sort of peaking at the right time, and they're both very sharp horses, so they sort of won't want to disregard them at all because they'll be getting home better than anything. Spirit of St. Louis, I'm not too sure where he's at the minute. I didn't think he deserved to be favourite, to be honest with you. Just his last couple. I know last week was okay off a soft trip, but the week before was pretty ordinary, and I just don't think he's got his Inner Dominion or his Melbourne form back yet, and I'd be game wanting to have me back on a horse that's probably not in great form against one of Tonkin's. It's in really good form, and Greg's too that are in great form as well.
Yeah, really interesting. Yeah, I read some comments from Jack Callahan about him driving the horse like the best horse. So, there might be a fair bit of speed there, Greg. I don't know if you saw those comments, but the horse just seems to be maybe a margin off, as you said, some of his form here in Melbourne and of the Inter Dominion. We've lost AP Gath, which is a worry because he's looking to bounce back from his best bets, but we might press on to those. So it is best bets time. Quite staggeringly, I tipped something that ended up running at about 60-1 on last Saturday night. It ran all right. It ran fifth, probably beaten 5 or 6 metres, but certainly didn't expect that. We might go to you, Greg. Feel free to have a crack at Kilmore or go into state if you like, but what's the best on the card anywhere in Australia on Saturday night?
Yeah, I had a bit of a look through Kilmore on the way up here and today, and just skimming through the fields, which first glance at them, and I was very impressed with all 3 runs this time in from Andy Gath's runner, Yam Bucky, and I think even though they probably would have preferred a front row draw around Kilmore in this race, I think he's clearly the best runner in the race. So for mine, looks a bit of value because he's drawn the back row. And Andy's pretty good at his best bets, as we know. So I'm putting the pressure on him and putting it in his corner, and going to stick Yam Bucky in.
Yeah, well, we haven't got him back, but I'll sort something out with him. I'm with Yam Bucky in as well, Greg. I thought he got beaten. It is a massive worry. I'm going down. Yeah, well, I almost put the Moz on Skeet last week. We should mention too, Nikita Ross. She went 8 winners in a row on Burning Questions until she got beat with Nephew Sunoco last week. So fantastic effort. We don't muck around on it. She's gone. Yam Bucky, and for me, I think this horse is just a really good talent. And even that defeat there, I think he ran 8th in his second up run. It was actually a really good run with absolutely no luck. So I'll stick with Yam Bucky in as well. Nath, what do you? I get the feeling it might be a Cravash Dior job here in the last at Kilmore.
Yeah, I think he might be just a bit short. So probably Majida into Cravash Dior. I think Majida's better draw this week. If she gets across, she won't get buried. I think she's the best man in the race. So I think her into Cravash Dior, you might get something.
Multi, yeah, good stuff. I don't think we've had a multi-lob on Burning Questions, so I don't mind it. Just looking after the punters, because we can't do a Nikita Ross and start tipping $1.12 shots. But look, boys, I'll chase up Andy Gath. I hope he's still alive. I'll get his best bet. We'll put it up somewhere. But firstly, to Greg, really appreciate you jumping on, mate. I know you're flat stick and you're always good with the media, so I really appreciate it. And no doubt the loyal Burning Questions viewers will take plenty out of your insights.
No worries at all, mate. Anytime.
Thanks, mate. And to you too, Nate. Really appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on at short notice.
Yeah, no worries.
Good luck, Greg. Thank you.
Thanks, boys. That's Burning Questions on July 21. Kilmore Saturday night. Hopefully we've found you a winner. And good luck to the Victorians, particularly Greg Sugars and Jess Tubbs in the big Blacks Are Fake at Albion Park. That's Burning Questions. We'll see you next week.